Before the match, Sumiko boldly claimed that she would defeat Dakota Ditcheva and become the new PFL champion.
I mean, she's the face of PFL. If I take out the face of PFL, am I the face of PFL now?
Let's talk about this fight. You've been waiting, but now it's here. You had the fight, you had the opponent. How excited are you to get back after it?
I'm happy to be back. I'm excited to get in the cage now and showcase my skills again. She's no walkover, but I don't think she's on my level. I'm going to show that in South Africa.
But what she didn't realize was the level of power, precision, and dominance Dakota was about to unleash inside the cage that night.
So far in this fight, it's been one-way traffic.
Oh, nasty knee to the middle from Dakota. And a flurry down to the body.
You are watching Boxing Planet, and in this video, we will see Dakota Ditcheva versus Sumiko Inaba, match highlights and break down every intense moment and detail. The match between Dakota Ditcheva and Sumiko Inaba happened on Saturday, July 19th, 2025 in Cape Town, South Africa. Round 1 began with both fighters circling each other, measuring distance, each waiting to see who would strike first. Sumiko came out aggressively, throwing heavy jabs and looking to close the distance early. She was clearly trying to pressure Dakota and keep her from establishing rhythm. Dakota, however, used her footwork to perfection, slipping, pivoting, and landing quick leg kicks that echoed through the arena. 2 minutes into the round, Sumiko rushed in with a flurry, hoping to catch Dakota off guard. Instead, she walked into a stiff right hand that halted her momentum. Dakota then followed up with a body kick and a sharp knee in the clinch that made Inaba wince. It was a clear sign. Dakota wasn't just going to win with movement, she was going to dominate exchanges. By the end of round 1, the crowd had already shifted. Those who expected a close fight were starting to realize that Dakota was levels ahead. The judges gave the first round unanimously to her, and even Inaba's corner looked concerned. Round 2 opened with more urgency from Sumiko. She switched tactics, trying to get Dakota to the ground, knowing she couldn't win the striking battle. She shot for a takedown 30 seconds in, but Dakota sprawled with perfect timing, stuffing the attempt and then punishing Inaba with a series of elbows to the side of the head as they scrambled. Back on the feet, Dakota unleashed a vicious combination. Left hook, right straight, low kick that landed flush. Inaba was tough and kept pushing forward, but her face was showing the damage. Her left eye was beginning to swell, and her breathing had noticeably changed. Dakota stayed calm, kept moving, and made Inaba miss again and again. Midway through the second round, Sumiko managed to push Dakota to the cage and clinch. It was a brief moment of success, but Dakota quickly reversed position, landed 2 knees to the body, and broke free. Her ability to control every moment was a masterclass in discipline and timing. The bell ended round 2, and it was clear Dakota was 2 rounds up. Inaba's corner urged her to go all in for the final round. They knew only a finish could save her now. Round 3 started with Inaba swinging big, throwing looping punches and desperate kicks. Dakota absorbed little, blocked most, and countered with brutal efficiency. Every mistake Inaba made was met with a response, sharp, clean, and damaging. 2 minutes into the round, Dakota delivered a spinning back kick to the midsection that staggered Inaba. The crowd erupted. But Dakota didn't go for the finish. She stayed technical, patient, and in control. That was the story of the fight. Complete dominance through discipline. In the final minute, Sumiko tried one last takedown. Dakota stuffed it, spun out, and landed a clean knee to the head on the break. She then followed with a straight right that snapped Inaba's head back just as the round ended. The buzzer sounded, and both women raised their hands, but everyone knew whose hand would be raised officially. The judges scored the fight 30-27 on all 3 cards. Unanimous decision for Dakota Ditcheva. She stood tall in the center of the cage, the South African crowd cheering her name. Still undefeated, still dominant, still the PFL Women's Flyweight Champion. In the post-fight interview, Dakota was humble but proud. "Sumiko's a tough opponent, but I came in prepared," she said. "I wanted to show the world that I'm not just a striker, I'm a complete fighter." She thanked her coaches, her team, and the fans in Cape Town who showed up to support the event. Sumiko, despite the loss, showed respect. "I gave it everything," she said, "but tonight wasn't my night. Dakota's the real deal. I'll be back. This fight cemented Dakota Ditcheva's place as one of the most dangerous women in MMA. Her striking was sharp, her defense flawless, and her composure unmatched. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. She had taken on a tough, undefeated opponent and made it look clinical. As for what's next, fans are already speculating. Will Dakota face a top UFC crossover contender? Will she defend again later this year? One thing is certain, whoever faces her next will have to bring their absolute best. Because Dakota Ditcheva has shown once again that she's not just a champion, she's a problem.
Click below to subscribe and watch more MMA content.
Now, let's take a look at some of Dakota Ditcheva's other incredible fights. Dakota Ditcheva versus Malin Hermansson. Two powerful fighters with different styles, clashing in a moment that had fans across the world on edge. Stay tuned for all the explosive details. The clash between Dakota Ditcheva and Malin Hermansson was one of the most intense and anticipated fights in women's MMA. Both fighters came into the bout with solid reputations, Dakota with her undefeated streak and striking background, and Malin known for her toughness and relentless spirit. From the moment the fight began, Dakota Ditcheva came out sharp and focused. Known for her elite striking and Muay Thai pedigree, most fans expected her to keep the fight standing. But what surprised many was her decision to take the fight to the ground, and how flawlessly she executed it. Hermansson tried to keep the pace and show her toughness early on, but Dakota's pressure was overwhelming. She landed clean strikes on the feet, keeping Malin guessing and unable to find her rhythm. But rather than going for a classic TKO as she had done in previous fights, Dakota displayed a new dimension of her game, her grappling. At around the 3-minute mark of the first round, Dakota initiated a clinch and swiftly transitioned the fight to the ground. Once there, she advanced position smoothly, demonstrating control and patience. Within seconds, she secured Hermansson's back and locked in a deep rear naked choke. Despite Malin's effort to resist, the choke was tight and technically perfect. At 3:52 of round 1, Malin Hermansson was forced to tap. The crowd erupted as Dakota stood up, victorious yet calm, showing the poise of a veteran. The submission was a statement. Not only could she strike with the best, but she could also finish fights on the ground. It was her first professional win by submission, and it added a new layer to her growing reputation as a complete mixed martial artist. This fight was important in more ways than one. It proved that Dakota Ditcheva is not a one-dimensional fighter. Up until that point, most of her wins had come via striking, highlight reel knockouts that earned her fame and fear in equal measure. But now, she had shown the MMA world that she's just as dangerous on the mat. That evolution is what separates good fighters from future champions. For Malin Hermansson, it was a tough outing, but she displayed grit by stepping into the cage with such a dangerous opponent. She entered the fight with confidence and preparation, but Dakota's speed, skill, and adaptability proved to be too much. In just under 4 minutes, Dakota Ditcheva delivered a performance that shocked even her longtime fans. It wasn't just about winning, it was about how she won. With this win, Dakota moved one step closer to the top of the women's division, and the world took notice. Thanks for watching this intense showdown between Dakota Ditcheva and Sumiko Inaba. Dakota once again proved why she's one of the most dominant forces in the sport today. Her skill, strategy, and composure inside the cage left no doubts about her championship status. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more thrilling fight content, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. More action-packed highlights and fighter stories are coming your way. Until next time, stay tuned and keep supporting the world of combat sports.
What am I going to do in the next 16 years? What's the best thing I can do? Get ready to meet God.